Hello out there. Waiting for the timer to click. See how long do I have to have it. Sometimes when I'm looking at the camera and I'm looking at the time to see if it will click on. Good, just want to say good day to you. Good morning, good afternoon. Hello audience out there. Hello to my subscribers or the ones that just coming on through. I hope you're having a pleasant day and things going out right with you. And have another discussion I wanted to talk about. Recently, you hear a lot of things. I made a video about this before about reparations and what some people should do if they get their, particularly in the black community, if they get some reparations. Now, this is going to be a whole different take on it too, and this is going to be kind of humorous in a way because we know somebody that's in your neighborhood, or we know some relatives in there will do something like this, and once they get if that whatever come through with a certain amount of money, some within the not too long they're gonna be broke again. And I want to tell that did this video. If any other people that you know that wherever you live at, that majority of the time, anytime you see this video, it's going to be titled, "Don't worry, most black folks is not going to go anywhere." And the reason why, to the other groups of people, they're going some of them going to benefit off the reparation anyway. How are they going to benefit off of reparation? Because there's a certain amount of people, and however they distribute, it was a monetary wealth. Some people are going to have to go way into and above to try to impress their friends and family. If they got some kind of substance habit, like if they smoke a lot of marijuana, weed, alcohol, drink a lot of alcohol, they gamble with numbers, they have a high spending of trying to put a $5,000 to $10,000 system in their car with $10,000 to $20,000 with the tires, rims, these expensive rims to try to showboat, and that's just when you ain't through the third of the money yet. And then you have the people who do this, and it's just that, of course, they got to be, they have to let everybody know they got money, and they go out and get some stereo system. And even though some of the people ain't got their money yet, but they don't realize what kind of area or who will betray them, because there'll be a lot of envious and jealousy people. Because you able to get if that person able to have clothes, they be able to provide their children with a thing, and of course the women, they be able to sustain themselves, but they're gonna extravagantly sustain themselves. Then you have the people. Now there's a kind of about 5 people in those inner city communities don't ever have to worry about when it comes to black folks getting their reparation. Number one is the people that got the audio system. And these people, they got to buy the most best audio system, booming in the car. Got to have the loudest stuff. Number two is the people who sell tires and rims. Get the fancy rims. Those kind of rims that you can see you can put on a big old truck, and they'll put it on a 20-something-year-old car, but it looks good. Within their mind, it looks good though. They might clean up a little the interior on the side, inside of it a little bit, and it'll be like Pimp My Ride from back in the day. Then you have the people. Then you have your convenience stores, and so they don't have to worry about it, because everybody, they're gonna be able to buy a bunch of Black and Milds and get whatever kind of pack of cigarettes that they do. Newport going because there's people that do smoke a lot of Newport that was been catered to the black community for over 30-some years, and so you're gonna have the other people that's gonna, the certain drinks that they threw, the Corona to the Hennessy to whatever drink. So they got to get their liquor stashed up a little bit, And then you're gonna have the certain kind of people that after they got their weed, they got their liquor, they done they they gotta go play some numbers. So they're gonna spend about $200 or $300 to $400 a week on numbers alone, because that's what some of our people in our community do, and trying to say that we're gonna hit the number and see that we get rich that way. You got another person that number. Then you have the people that they're gonna party all the time. And I mean, you have all kind of. Don't worry about that. You'll have friends that from 10 friends on top of friends when you first get that check. As soon as they spend out, and as soon as they spend a part of their reparation money, they're gonna come knocking at your door. Hey, they're gonna come knocking at your door like, hey man, can you hook me up? You're like, dude, you just got paid about. The government just gave you about 10 grand or 12 grand. What you do with all that money? Oh, go, you know how we gotta do. You know what I'm saying? You know, man, my kid's mama and everything. And they go, and yeah, he had it. And come to find out, he got 2 or 3 women with 2 or 3 different women on the side. He trying to be, they asking for money because they ain't got their money yet. And so that's the kind of person you got to deal with. So the Middle Eastern people, they ain't got nothing to worry about, because it's going to be a segment of our community. It's going to keep them up in business. The Asian hair salon, and most of them, they ain't got to worry about that, because they're going to benefit. Sometime there's going to be a portion of people that's going to go to them instead of doing for themselves and doing for their own. Or in the case for grocery stores and convenience stores, the Middle Eastern people going to have that, or some East Indian people going to have something like that, and they're just going to keep coming in, or Pakistani or some group of people like that. So that's why they're down in those inner city neighborhoods. And one of the last thing is, some people don't want to leave their past. They don't want nothing to change. They want to stay in the same block that they have hung out in the same area for 20, 30 years. They ain't trying to go nowhere. They don't want to go. They don't want to be around that. They want to do the same thing. They want to be sit back on the porch and hearing about who shot, who did what, and who's envious what, who's looking at somebody the wrong way, and and what led off is something. It could be something really simple as something like that. So you got so those people, what I'm just speaking to you about, them the people going to be around. Them the kind of black folks that's going to be here in the United States. And I mean, and it's going to be the ones that, maybe they have, the second league going to be the ones that they're not in good health shape. Now I feel for them, because they can't move, they can't go no, even if they had the resources, they can't pick up and move, and they don't want to move because they used to be in the same atmosphere. And they don't want, and some of them don't want to go to a better atmosphere. They can't go to a better atmosphere because of health conditions. But the third thing out of the black community is the ones that's going to want to leave, is the ones that get smart and say, we got to go. We got to go somewhere and get healed, if it means to get your passport and have dual citizenship and leave the country, because and I see in some cases online where some people did that because the adults and their children were seeing something like this all the time, and so they finally got up and went to some country that they felt that they get researched on, and maybe whatever skills that they had that they learned in college and school, or whatever they can apply to better over there. Maybe into some Caribbean island, or some place in some part of Africa somewhere, where they just want to feel like a natural citizenship. It doesn't mean ain't gonna be no problems over there. I mean, it's problems. There might be some problems over there, but you ain't got to worry about some stuff. But maybe you have something you can contribute to something. Because when Africa and the other places get African Americans, they're gonna get the best of us from over there, because there's going to be a portion of us going to say, yeah, maybe it's my time to research and where my spiritual journey is at, because America isn't where it's at, and you always got to feel like you're on edge and things like that, and some of them get tired, but you're going to have But then you're gonna have another portion of people figure out that you're doing this and ask you why. Is because them people over there don't like you, and they don't like, and they because they heard something in the past, or they have had a bad encounter with an individual that didn't reflect the whole continent of Africa. It's just that they had, you just meet good, bad people of every race. I mean, and that's a pure fact. And so they bitter, they mad, or whatever, and they're gonna form this opinion no matter what. Even if they did go over there, I mean, some people, if you did take someone like that, they wouldn't understand the culture anyway. They probably be laughing at the way they be dancing and or something like that, or do something really outrageously, being outlandishly, cause a lot of tension. So you can't, there's certain people you can't even take to another neighborhood, let alone take to another country, because they will embarrass you. So you're gonna have to find a selective kind of people that know how to act and got some good common sense. And there's some people don't even act like they got some good common sense. They gotta be loud and extravagant and acting crazy over there. They carry the same environment over to another environment, and they don't know what the heck is this, then they see somebody over there, then they get into a riff with somebody because someone looked at them the wrong way, and they might be ready to fight, and that's not even in their nature to be like that, because you can't look at somebody a certain way without someone ready to fight you. You may not even so you can't even, and then if you don't look at somebody, they think you scared of them. I mean, it's just, and this is something that we struggle among ourselves. We do as a collective, as a people. There's three sides to us. There's the ones who would love to go, but then they're not in good health, and they're scared to change because they don't know what be the new thing over. And that's how we've been ingrained to this place. So they only go for what they know. And really, the only way to move, the government would have to actually push them out. Where people say you got to get out and move. Where you have a segment of people that gentrify the neighborhoods. That's how they was able to get them out. Because they're gonna find something valuable in that land. In every inner city, in the neighborhood, you see this in every case in different cities, whatever your state you live in, whatever town where there's a majority poor people, and 60-70% of them are African American, black, and maybe 10% are white or other. And so what they do, and they don't seem to care. They find there's some value in the property, so they come in and they find some way. We say that. So they allow these stores that allow to sell teenagers and young people underage cigarettes and stuff too. They shut them down, whatever. They're trying to so-called and relieve the problem, but they allowed it to go on so long because but now that they figure that it's become a nuisance, they come back and be the heroes and shut some of these people that came from some part of the world that got together with their relatives. And most likely they either they Middle Eastern or some East Asian people that run the business, and they're trying to cater to the poor, and they know that they're destitute in the area, so they give them a little cigarettes, a little liquor on the side, and they can get around and able to cash in their food stamps and things like that, and do some low stuff. In that category, when they shut them down, that's white. Some white people, the ones with the money, come in and they drive them out, shut down the business. Someone come along, buy the property, put a Dollar General store down there, or they put some building down there for some professionals that is right near the downtown. But they want, and this is what they do. They did this pretty much in the city where I'm at in Ohio. And throughout different cities in Ohio, just like they're doing everywhere else. So that's another reason why. So you're going to have to, if you do go, unless you find some land in the South somewhere, like I saw recently with somebody, buy you some acres of land, find some like-minded people that have the same goal that you do, who are African American, and find some like-minded people that you get along with, that don't have no envious spirit, that don't, they ain't looking at you because you from some different part of the tracks, so you educated or you're non-educated, but the group of you is going to have to make you build up your own town if it's possible, but you have to come together and has to organize and basically build up from there. Like some people have gone over and built up things over in land in Africa, and do the same thing. And that's the truth. I mean, let's be honest. Not everybody can go. Not everybody's not meant to go. And some of us, do. The reason why is because you go back into history. And like I made in one video before, it's just some of us is too already far gone. Someone put something in your head and said, why would you want to do something like that? Well, why would you want to be by yourself? And then it's a portion of people that don't want to leave, even no matter what the outcome is, as far as they get mistreated in the well-to-do neighborhoods around the majority of the people that don't look like them, and that they think that they're the criminality and why they walking out down the block, and why they shopping this way, and why do they, and then something happened where you have a disagreement with someone that there's no way to just escalate, but you end up in a situation like what the young men did up in Wisconsin, or a situation that happened with the man that was up there in Minneapolis. Someone ended up dead because someone ain't used to being around the train to this, and that's the way they think how they approach people like this, and then the ones who are enforcing the law, who did this, they're gonna get scot off free. They're gonna have some union and some attorneys gonna drum up something to make it seem like they tear down the person's character. So even though that person's family know that they were not like that, but what happened was it was one black person who chose to be about that life. So they label, when they go into a community like an African American community in the city, they already got the image paid on TV. They already got it in their mindset, and they convince some of our people that this is the reason why we did that. Well, if he wouldn't have did this, well, he wouldn't have did that, and so that's traumatizing. And this is why you have the protests that you do. This is the reason why. So this is a good reason why, if the government ever give you something, and like I said, you want have dual citizenship, and say, hey, I think I want to go and live in some part of the world because I need to heal up and get this trauma out of me. Because it's going to take about numerous black psychiatrists to release that, because any other thing, you have, you're traumatic, and African Americans, it's true, they never truly heal. I mean, we're a group that continually to be traumatized. I mean, continually, it's almost like it's a forever going, like a Holocaust. It's forever going. You see someone go through the most brutal death, and even though there's other people who's dying in different parts of the world, there have been other people have died due to situations here, even though it could have been a serial killer or a murder or something like that, and not taking away their pain. But it's like when it comes to the masses of us, people that look like us, it's like it has to go through like a 5, 6, 10th degree, because it's something that either is from another person that look like us, or is another person that don't look like us that's trying to take us out. Whether they feel like they go up under what they call a privilege system, and that's basically what it is. What you see up there in Wisconsin. That's why the young man was even, they killed two white males. It was a white male that killed 2 white males, but that goes to show America. So that when you see that and say, dang, they can't even they even shooting their own just for going for the rights of people to be equality in this country. So they even gonna gun people that they say, hey, we need to have some peaceful resolution. Therefore, but this country protects people like the shooter, who wanted to be a law enforcement to give him the right to shoot. Not just it's not shooting in a way of if an animal attack you, not shooting out the way that if a criminal is robbing you and busting you in the house. No, they as this individual went down there and they feel like he wants to be act like it's some kind off of a movie set, like he wants to be like Jason Bourne or something like that, or Wolverines off of some movie, and so they see stuff like that and they try to imitate whatever they see on TV. That's why I said TV is a powerful, and movies is a powerful weapon, because some people can see entertainment. Some people see it as a blueprint to disaster, and that's why they went out there and did it, because they got to look at the invader. They get in a psych mind that the invaders look opposite of them, and sometimes even if someone look like them, that's protected the people that don't look like them, then they need to be a casualty too. So that's another reason why. So I say even the people who are basically white getting killed by other white people because they believe in equality for all people from all different religions, that tells you something right there, that they maybe it's time to go to another place. Because if they can't and they want to do this to their own people, what does that tell you? And it's like, and then they keep, then you go with the politicians, you go with the local representatives, they make up excuses, and the only reason why they make up excuses because every time when they look at a young man like they did in Wisconsin, because they feel like they putting their son in jail. They don't want to look like someone that look like them, and they'll try to make up excuses, just like a Tucker Carlson, and just like that one woman Laurel, because she looked something that looked like her that could come up out of her womb. And naturally, that's how some people look at it, because they paint the seed the way, that way. And the people that look like the Tucker Carlsons and Laura, Ingram of the world, that's what they do. They don't have no balance. It's one way, it's because this way. And you have to agree with this way. You can look an African American black person, as long as you agree with them and say, yeah, I think some of my people need to be put down to them. You'll get on their show, you'll get all the tickets, and there's black people that do that. So that's another reason why. And they want to say, I'm blood, black and blue America. Well, you go right ahead. Because at some point, like Richard Spencer said, it ain't about all America, it's about white America. And sometimes he was just speaking as a white, and I see, even though the Donald Sterling's of the world, and I say some, and the Richard Spencers of the Gerald Taylors and other people like that, they telling you what people is a portion of people that's trying to reserve that mindset. They try to reserve, say, no, I don't think that I'm a racist or whatever. I'm just one about preserving my own race. But yet, I said, but the same people is like, okay, someone tries to solve a solution, say, okay, then you go live in some part of the country, raise your kids out the way you want to raise your kids. If you want them to be just an all predominantly town where it's not just white people, which is already like that throughout America, it's fine that you don't want them race mixed into the next 3 or 4 different states. That's fine. And they don't have no friends. You want to disconnect it from other cultures. That's your choice. Because some people are going to do it, and the only way they know about other cultures is that they have to view it on TV or see it at a movie or someone else's experiences. That's the only reason why. Therefore, when they come into your presence, they don't even know. They don't know what to think and what to say. What do I say to these people? It's like, they're black. I mean, what do I say to them? It's like, and the reason why they like that, because their parents never told them the truth, the reality of the truth about the real world. So it's a shocker to them because they can't believe that this is going on, that someone can murder somebody based on the color of their skin. Yes, it's because they have their ethnic features. And maybe some in them say this is wrong, because the reason why it's wrong, because they can't help it the way they look. They can't help it because their environment is, and they practice rationality. Now you go back to the same people in the upper suburban rural areas. try to justify this and say, no, this is the way it is. Look at the way these people are. They have a reputation doing this. And that's why I don't want them in our family. And this is the truth. I don't want to live next door to them. They cool, as long as they stay on the other side of the tracks. That you have some people who are still like that. That's been from that era and that's still living in that era. And they put it in people in era. And every generation before me, and there's some generations after me, keep that instilled in America. So that's another reason why you should want to leave, and if you get your reparations to go, because you got to deal with them kind of people. I mean, it's nice with the other people that see rationality, but to a certain degree, they don't want to be the only one among your only people, because even though there are some people that feel that we all God's children on the planet, and they say that, but reality of it is they don't feel that way, because deep down, when it comes to a certain topic, it is going to affect them in some type of way, and they want to reserve that because it politically is correct. So that's another reason why if you ever get to reparation, and go, because these are that type of people. I know that the other ones is cool, that they don't have no problem with it. They really don't have no problem with it when you be around them long enough. But they're a small percentage of the people. It's the 90% of the people you have to worry about. It's not the smaller percentage of people in that suburb. It's the 90%. It's the 90% in that rural area you have to worry about. And they don't want no peace. And I've seen one case where there was a guy, he called himself a pastor down in Tennessee. He's an African American fellow. He practiced his faith. He don't there's an intermixture of people in his community. He got acres of land. He don't bother nobody. He don't mess with nobody. And it's people from all walks of life, and they commute. They have a different spiritual system, apparently. Now he way out there in the country in Tennessee. And you got some Joe Bob riding down the doggone road, calling him a bunch of names, and his people, they going up on their property and ball hauling, mud dogging it with their truck. These people don't do nothing to them. He tried to go to the sheriff. He couldn't get no help or whatever. And even when like I said, even though it's a different part of land, there's always somebody to say, what is with these people? Why? Let's go mess with these people in this part of land. And these people ain't got nothing to do with them. They educate their own. They grow their own food. They try to be someone's pillars in the community. But they just can't help it that there's a great integration of people led by a black man in Tennessee, and that's practicing his own rights and his own religious right, who have his own land, who pay his own taxes, who do everything. And I can understand why he's mad. And even though you don't believe in the system, even though you don't believe in which because those people choose not to be part of society, they dress differently, they have a certain religious faith, that's their right. But you have people in America that can't accept it. They don't teach their young people enroll in areas like, why are those what they're Arabs or something like that, or why they dress something like that? What's with they part of Saddam Hussein people or what? And they have to go messing with people who don't mess with them. And so that's another reason why I said if you do get reparation, you build up your town, make sure you have some police, make sure you have some tax ordinance, make sure you have some representatives if you're a group of African Americans that's going to look out and speak things on the political system. Just like these little towns throughout America. You go through their town, there's some representatives going to come and represent them because they pay taxes and they have corporations and things that you're not going to come in there and be a terrorist and terrorizing them without there's the consequences. And if you decide to do that in America and open up your little town, basically, and be like a Wall Street, something like that, you're going to have to really protect that. Because just like this man did out in Tennessee, they're going to be coming around and harassing you and they're going to feel mad, they're going to be pissed because like they got laid off from their job and 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 these people have no rationality. They will come and harass you. They can't stand the likeness of, and definitely don't beat no African Americans that's getting something from the government, something at a larger scale. That's why I mentioned you're gonna have us, and this is the God's honest truth. You're gonna have to somehow you're gonna have to leave, and if the ones that choose to stay, hey, just be careful. You have to form your police and form you like a militia, something like that, and keep watch on guard. It's just like this brother did with his congregation down there, and they don't bother nobody. But you got somebody who look at some Klan material and feel like, let's go mess with those people. People don't even bother them. And this was the case. They see some people online. You see them on YouTube. They're practicing their own thing and what they believe. And they said, we're trying our form of separation. We don't bother nobody. We don't clear nobody. Why you don't bother nobody? Why do you can come over some people if they're not saying some hateful, dreadful thing about any group of people or harming any other people? Why do you have to go over there and mess with the people that don't have? And people, I don't understand that. Then you have what they have, like this young man did up in Wisconsin. He wants to go act like he wants to play G.I. Joe, and a 17-year-old kid who haven't reached the age of 18 years old and go shoot somebody because he feel like it's his patriotic right, and he's not even part of, and he was a part of that state, and he come in just to cause some mischief, and then when he caused some mischief, then the court system, the major system, the politicians, the police, because they don't want to put if the crime is black and white, they're gonna go with the white. They see color. They'll project it and give less time, and so it has to be a white person to get killed by a white person. It's got to be white on white to crime, just like black on, because that's the only way they're gonna take it seriously. Let's be honest with you. The white people standing with black people, these are two young men that were standing with injustice up, and they still could get justice, because you know why? Because of what the police chief said, like up there in Wisconsin. Well, it was the protesters that started. So, but so you allow vigilantes come from a different state instead of having proper police, military personnel to deal with the ones who and the ones up there who are already come along, who didn't ask a young man like this do this, but he feel like he had been bold enough to come up there and go shoot, walk along people, half a dozen protesters coming, and he shoots two and injured one, killed two of them. So that's another reason why. So you see, it's the bloodshed even among their own. Among their own, they don't have no regards because they're trying to fight for the right thing. So it's another reason why you want to leave. And the lawmakers, they don't want to change nothing because they don't like seeing white on white crime. They don't like seeing that. They don't like to see some blue-eyed, blonde-haired boy like Dylan Bruce. Let's call it what it is. Despite them, he did the most horrific thing to some people that didn't do nothing to him but show him love. He walked into the church and said, "Hey, let's pray together." No, he got mad, killed some other armed people. It had nothing to do with it. No one did rob his house. No one didn't jump him. But he decided, look, he was the agitator. Then the insult to injury, they didn't shoot him down like they did with these other people, the African Americans. They took him and the police took him down on the way to the police station and got him a sandwich. But basically, apart from harm, comfort, and luxury, as he murdered. And this is, and please let me understand why. Anybody, if you're African or any other people that feel like you were injustice and you continually see this over and over and over, I can understand why you would want to leave the country. You ain't got no justice. And then it took something. It took the wealthier. They're gonna be all right. Some of the athletes, even though it does affect them to a certain degree, because they come from out of the city. But really what the elite want them to do is forget about that. They want them to say, no, we give you stuff. We tell you what to think. We tell you what to feel. No, we'll tell you what we decide to feel. And they got people over them that kind of remind them. But it has to take death in the street, sacrifice of blood of African Americans, innocent African Americans, not the ones that go out there and who's committing atrocities on others. Just go out, and if it was a person that just went random shooting, killing people, hey, if he met the fate by the bullet is a bullet because he was in danger. But if somebody run away and they ain't killing nobody, what is the sense of them gunning them down? And you wouldn't do that to an animal. And you say, damn, he just went out and just accidentally pulled a phone out or something like that. He didn't have no weapon on it. And then it's someone who tried to do the right thing, he ended up getting killed. So it don't matter. They say, well, maybe he come from, and then they're trying to drum up some case, and this person still won't get justice because it seems like you're part of the people that want to put in the ground. And no matter how many athletes and well-known entertainers and different politicians who are African American had told them their experience, had told them what they've been through, they still can't. Some people still can't relate. They don't want to relate. They don't care to relate. They want you to keep dancing for them and singing for them and running the ball. That's what they want you to do. I mean, it's just it's the same thing. They don't give a shit about. It's like they care more about a horse than they do about a human being. That's the fact. Like, oh, the horse breakers, like, shoot the damn horse. Why you gonna shoot the horse? I mean, that's the way he saw it. It's like, damn, but that's a harmless animal. I mean, you can kind of, put him to death. This is what it is. And you'll have a nation outcry on something like that. But when it comes to another human being with darker skin, that's a whole different ball game. Then it's like, oh, well, he deserved it. It's like seeing something with evil on the planet. So that's another reason why for you to go and you're not evil like that. You don't have that mad murder that you want to kill everybody, beat everybody, but rob their house and rape them and molest them and things like that. You may not be that type of individual, but the image is already painted with these people, and so you just want to live in peace. And then some people, a fragment of people, will see that you want to live in peace. They don't mind living in peace along you, but it's that 90% that don't want to live among you because they gotta find something because like it's that your complexion. And every time I see one of you people on TV, and what the media does, it does a witchcraft thing on them that they make African Americans, make like they're the pillars of hell, doing all kind of things. So they get this grain in their head, and you might not be that kind of person. You may not be a black person, but they that's how they are. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's not going to change their heart. The only person that can change their heart is the Most High who created all of us to put us on the planet. But there's going to be a segment of that seed in every small town, a vast majority of them. It might be a selective few that's going to have that mindset. And it's the vast majority you need to worry about. It's the vast majority that have the businesses. It's the vast majority that control the banks. It's the vast majority who control the land. It's the vast majority who patrol the land, who legislate the laws. It's the vast majority that don't look like us. It looks like them. And so when they see them, they can hear you, but see them as they see their own. I see my cousin. I see my mother. I see my uncle that I can connect with, because people don't want to connect. They do see color. They do see color. Most people see color, and it comes through their actions. It comes through the pushing of the law. It comes through the judges. It comes through the police officers. It comes through the attorneys. It comes through the whole government system. They know that it is a system of what racism has biologically, psychologically take on the African American. They don't. Most of them don't care. We can keep talking about this for the next 100 years. Racism ain't gonna be, because it's gonna be soon. As soon as it happens, you know it traumatized people, and no matter what traumatized people, you got some sick people that like knowing that yes, we gonna got them in pain. We got them suffering in pain. Now we can control them. The kids, we can beat them and torment them. We can get back to the way it was. We can lynch them on the tree. That's the doggone truth. Nobody don't want. No one cares that. Oh yeah, he could. He's saying, don't worry about it. He or she commits suicide. How would you know? Then they flip it on you, and they said, remember, come out and vote for me. Oh, forget that you're not a protected class citizen. Forget about that. No, no. We give you reparation. We give you Obama. We'll give you free. We'll throw free education. No. We're not gonna give you what we gave the Japanese. No. We're not gonna give you what we give to the people that came from Eastern European by the white people by the faith. We're not gonna give you what we We're not gonna give you what that we give certain different Native American Indian. No. Your property. This is what it is, and they can't figure out. And yeah, well, I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. We pray for you, but you're still not human to us. You're still property. You still got the melanin in your skin. That bothers me. You can still outrun me in sports. You can still outdance me in dance. You can still outsing me in sing. No. Your people you're doing fine. No. And that's the mentality that it is. And you think that these people with the same mentality is going to go next to you, and as they even though the empire is coming down, bruh, listen to, if the Most High say time for you to go, time for you to go, sis. If the Most High tell you time for you to go. If you open up a door and keep your, and I learned this, zip your lips and go. Like, again, you can't be showboating and everything else, because their desperation is going to come out in some form or fashion. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's the truth. And we're seeing it now. That's why we're going to be struggling for the same system, because black people have always, to them, has been considered property, because it never left the slavery, never left the books. No matter what we achieve in this country, no matter how smart a segment of it are, come down to no matter how good you are in politics, no matter what you do, but you are told if you be a part of that elite, you don't look at the rest. We'll tell you what to think. We tell you what to say. We tell you how to feel. We'll determine if we feel. Let me tell you how deep it is. We'll determine if you want the good ones because the bad one. But the other ones, they're low class. That's how it is. We want to determine what we want to determine. The vast majority of us want to determine. That's America. When it comes to different other ethnic people, we want to determine. We want to determine how your character is. We want to determine. We want to control you spiritually, black people. We want to control you. We want to control. We've been controlling you by your image. We want to control you. We want to determine to you. You're like my child. You're like the children. We still can control you. We don't have to respect you. We'll respect that dog before we respect you. It's not what they say. They didn't tell you that. Watch their actions. Watch their actions. Maybe I could be going out of bounds, but there's a segment of people who feel this way. And where that came from, all from the ancient spirit of early America. And how they viewed slaves. What the slaves looked like. What the people, descendants of the slaves looked like. So they felt like this is what they were taught. This is what they were shown. Facts. And they can't avoid it because that's what it was shown. Some people were shown this. And their parents never kept it real with them. And some of them don't never really tell them the truth because it's like in their world, it's okay. And you're like, dang, how can you don't you see the insensitivity? They don't care because they can't connect. They don't relate. That's the fact. And that's why some people who at the point see like maybe we need there's a certain portion of people say because they can't connect and they can't relate. So the only way I could be is be around my own people and love my own people. Because you can't connect and you don't want to relate. And then when you don't want to relate, you don't want to do it. You don't want to get along with the neighbor that chooses to do the right thing by the right heart. It's like you see me as the dog and the horse to entertain you. And that's how they see it. We all human beings. We all human beings. If we all are human beings, then how come the cops ain't practicing it? How come the law and then enforcing it? Why is that? Why does it have to? It take another person to look like them. They say, "Oh, we gotta do something. We gotta pass legislation. Then we gotta pass it and put on the blame. Is it a Democrat or is it a Republican?" It has to take. I mean, it almost had to take other people who do the right thing, white people who do the right thing, who would die for over us, for them to do something. And massive like, whoa. They've done it before because they want to do the right thing by their heart. And that's amazing. Just imagine sitting around being a part of a people that just still have the mindset say no, they're not human, they're not irrational, they're not intelligent, they can't handle themselves. It's like, wait a minute, but you got it wrong. I've been around these people. No. Well, you may be around these people, but you may say, no, I disagree with your philosophy on African Americans. I disagree with your thing on black. Well, you could disagree, but we could. The fact is the fact. We control the area. We control the finances. We can control trail. Well, I don't like the way that you're doing it. Well, you can get the heck out. But if the majority don't say that, don't think like that, and you could be a small percentage say, no, it's wrong, man. You can't just keep doing this to these people. Think that there's some people that really trying to fight for good, but if they can't get adjusted, then if they're not willing to if they're not even to do the right thing and let the people go and give them what is owed for all the things that you have destroyed them in so many different dimensions in America. You have gave them the worst thing of medical institutions. They know how it affects. They know they want most of them to die. If you're willing to impart to them their education on what they know, no, they need to know about us. No, forget about what their spirituality system. No, don't forget about what their people are. We'll give them and then they want to determine what they want to give, what they want to teach you. This is how deep it is. So that's why there's a segment of African Americans say, no, I want to know and be among my own, to hear from my own, to hear from my own from the Most High. But there's a segment, but there's going to be a segment that say, no, we'll pick one that look like you, to tell you what to feel, what to worship, how the way to feel, and we all together. And you don't know what party that they're up on. It all comes down to it. Comes down to this. They don't want you going nowhere. There's a portion of them don't want you going nowhere. They want to maintain that status quo. Even if they have something to look like someone, assign someone to look like you. That's a fact. These are the ones that do evil behind the law. These are the ones who legislate the laws. Them the ones. Them the ones living to the most rural, wealthy areas that you can even imagine. Them the ones that say this in their private country clubs. Them the ones that say it behind their private offices. Them the ones that talk on the phone at night. Them the ones that make the laws. Them the kind of people. They don't want to do right. They don't ever want to do right. And they can't figure it, but they so in their mind intelligent, but they don't know the kingdom is coming down around them. They don't know that the kingdom is coming down around them, and they can't figure it out. They can't. That's why they're losing their mind. These individuals are losing their minds, and they want to take it out on you. They don't want to pay. They don't want to do the right thing. They don't want to give the appropriate appropriation or reparation of the masses that put generations and generations of African American black people in bondage. They'll throw a nugget to it. They'll throw a nugget out to the institution, but they're gonna get something up out of it. They throw a nugget to this civil organization, they're gonna get a nugget up out of it, but they're gonna put something to benefit them. Because they figure you're not too bright, you're not. They figure about. That's why I mentioned you need, if you do the right thing, and let the Most High guide you. If that was granted, get up out of here. If you got some type of talent as an African American male and female, get up out of here. If you feel like you got to go, go, cause you know how to. You have hit them heights. You know how the way they think. You know this. You're a professional. You know this. God gave you the discernment to see them at their level, that they think they're above all your people's level. And some people don't know that things that you know. They haven't been into the spaces that you space. And they expect you to think like they do. They expect you to act like they do. And if you do, you don't what they do, they hurt you. They'll kick you off the job. They'll make your business a life of living hell. These individuals are evil, but they just want to use you. So when the main thing, public come at them, you the shield. No. But in the end, you have to be a reflection. Them are the true racist people. Racist people is not somebody who's poor, average Schmo. No. Them the ones that don't. They handle things that higher, and they want you to hire. They want you to, even if someone that look like them that do the most evil thing, you go out there and you cover for them. You cover for them. That's what they want to do. And these individuals want to do this out of this wealthiest sector community that came and gentrified the neighborhoods, that play the biggest. These individuals who come out of these families or organizations that gentrify the neighborhoods, that's behind, the left versus the right, but they both is a Shakespearean act. That's why I'm saying. But if the Most High would ever make a just in the land, and he make the government give it up to you, this would be my suggestion. If he ever make it give it up to you, you would have to go, because you can't stay. You can't, because the evilness in them won't allow it to happen. They'll put on a face, but they're gonna be mad as hell, just like the Pharaoh did. He let the children go in his day of Hebrews go, Israel, what they call Israel. And you look in the beginning of the Bible, but he was mad as hell, because when he came to the revelation, like, oh shoot, we about to lose everything that we do. They're gonna take all the children of the Most High had all the wealth. When they came to their senses, they sent the army, they sent everything in technology to come after the children of the Most High. And that's why the Most High had to keep telling them to march on through, because they're coming, and they come to kill you, take their stuff back, and put you in some form of bondage. That's the truth. So you think if the Most High make them give it up to you, that you're gonna live it at peace? No, because just like they did before, they're gonna want you to put it back in the system. And that's what they did with the civil rights. No, we're going to, even though the black blood was the sacrifice, your people was the sacrifice. But in the end, it's going to benefit us. Wait a minute, how's it going? It's going, in the end, we're going to determine how it benefits. And even though you were the people that took the whooping, the dogs, that took the most brutal thing, death, almost to the point that it was death, you still are not human. It's not what they say, it's what they did this display. So it's nice that, it's good that people talk it out, but that's all is going to be talk. There are people at this point, they done talking. They talked about it for 20, 30 years. Ain't solved no problems. There's no action when it comes to a particular protected class as a people. We should be like any other class of people. African Americans, blacks in this country are the sacrifice, and they want to sacrifice more blood, and even if it means white blood has to die along with black blood, they'll do it. That's why when you get your reparation, that's the main top. You gotta leave, and even if it means getting one of your own and putting the image of jealousy and murder and hatred in their spirit to get them to take you down, and you got yours, you did it honestly, and the Most High, listen to me, tune into the Most High, He'll save you from either ones that will look like you. Because when after they spend their own, they're going to get desperate. After they use their own because whatever habit that they have, they're going to get desperate. That's the truth. And so, this came to me. Because a lot of talk about reparation is going around. That's why I made it like the third video on this. But this is a more truthful, realistic point of view. There's no rainbows in the sky. It's a small segment of society that wants peace. There's a small segment, every group of people that want to do the right thing. Very fragile, small. But there's others that come among the people for their own agenda. Not for your agenda. Not for your blood. But the ones who have a good heart from all walks of life do. And let the Most High show you who is for you or who is just to make profit off your blood. Who is making profit off your family suffering? Who's making a profit? And here you earned it. You've been through it. Your family was the one who suffered it. That's the truth. So if you do decide to stay in America, get you group of you gonna have to build up another Wall Street. You're gonna have to need like some officials acknowledge you as a nation. 1, 2, get all the necessary things that need to build up a community. 3, to be among your own. Like if there's any other group of racial group in the country, like you see a Greek town, Chinatown, Little Italy, or one of those Middle Eastern towns, whatever. That's what they did, and they were up under the immigrant community from Latin America, Mexico. That's what they did in order to have their own, so they could feel safe. That's the only solution. Otherwise than that, as far as African Americans, you need to be put as a protected class. Look what's going on right now. And look at how the system plays. And look how the way it's doing other people. And look how the way the party is going to extend for people who technically not citizens here. Take all that into account. Take account. Look at the whole thing. Don't get so emotional. Do your research. Do your study. You'll see why I said you got to go. Okay. Till next time, ladies and gentlemen, you take care out there. You be blessed and have a good day.